and welcome to Money Talks. I'm your host, Claire Wilson.
And I'm Mark Gould.
And we're here to show you the ins and outs of saving money while still living the student lifestyle. And this week,
we're looking at whether you really can have a night out on a budget with our night out price match.
And we'll also be rounding up the best deals of the week, as well as taking a look at some of the celebs who really should be watching our show.
But first, we all know that when it comes to doing the weekly shop, the last thing you want to be doing is buying the most expensive item when you don't need to. And it's not like you can start cooking it up in the middle of the store to see which is best.
This week though, we have you covered, as Mark and I risked our taste buds to tell you whether branded is always best, or whether value line products are just as tasty. Out of a regular student budget, 50% of it is spent on your weekly shop. And we're here today to test the value brand against a leading brand.
And try not to give each other food poisoning as a result.
Well, the first item I'm testing is orange juice. So I'm testing the branded against the non-branded.
This one has got to be the winner because it's a lot stronger and tastes much nicer.
So that's a win for our branded item. I'm now testing noodle snacks. So I've got my branded in this hand and my non-branded in this hand. See how we get on.
The pot noodle cost £1. The non-branded version cost 23p.
Here we go. Here goes. That was quite nice. It's a bit watery. And this one.
That one is so much better. More tasty, more flavour. That's the winner.
So that's a win for our branded item, pot noodle.
We're going to be comparing the value line of bread against the branded version. The branded version of bread was £2, whereas the non-branded version was just £1.
They're both very good, but I'd say this one is actually lighter, whereas this one's a little bit drier. So in terms of preference, I'm going for this one.
And a non-branded product gets the first point this week, and it's the bread that wins. Next up, we're going to be comparing chocolate, the branded version and the value line. The value line was just 35p, whereas the branded version was £1, which was specially reduced on offer from a higher price.
There isn't a great deal of difference between the two, to be honest.
As Claire couldn't decide which chocolate was her favourite, that means that branded wins this week by just 1 point.
Well, that's a win for the branded items, and join us next week where we'll be testing even more. And I'll be introducing Mark to some dirty washing.
And we'll be testing the value line and branded versions of washing powder before I introduce Claire to the washing up. Up next is our top celeb overspends, where we see just who has been splashing the cash this week.
This week's countdown features 2 new entrances from music's newest mum and a spot of our favourite man in his pants, David Beckham. At number 5 is Miley Cyrus. She spent over 80 grand this week on a brand new Mercedes. A bit different from most people's cars when they're 19. For a start, Hez will never lose a wing mirror in an automatic car wash, leading them to close down the whole thing while she had to watch them go through it to find it. Not that that's ever happened to me. Moving on. In at number 4 are those lovable / hottest contenders for that one celebrity you'd punch if you got the chance. It's Jedward. They're reportedly spending a cool £3 million for an LA mansion. Apparently they have plans to live together even when married. I can't wait to see how they decorate the place. At number 3 is a bit of a cheat. It's anyone who spent money on placing an advert during the Super Bowl this year. Reports estimate roughly 30 seconds of ad time sold for a cool £2.2 million. One of my favourite ads this year was David Beckham advertising those underpants. And if I could buy these for my boyfriend and they made him look that good, they wouldn't need to spend that much on advertising them. At number 2 is Simon Cowell. He's reportedly offered Beyoncé £50 million to join the X Factor US sinking ship. That has to be the most amount of money paid to Beyoncé to listen to music uncomfortably, since Lady Gaga asked to appear in the telephone video. And also this week is the brand new mom herself, Beyoncé, for spending £1 million on a nursery for her new baby. This kid can barely see but already has a handmade rocking horse for 360 grand to look confusingly at. And I know what you're thinking, but no, pretending adoption papers for yourself and asking them to sign them really doesn't work. I've tried. Join me later in the show where we'll be telling you the top 5 voucher codes we found this week.